right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Gene Fetty back at you with another episode of the All Access Podcast now from Dent Repair Now. Today, we've got a special old friend that I can't believe I haven't put an episode together yet with this guy. But we have Mr. Jonathan Vandenfontyne joining us. I'm assuming you're home live from Belgium. Jonathan, welcome to the show, and thanks so much for making time and staying up late. I think it's probably 11 o'clock at night over there for you.
Almost. Thank you for the invite, Gene. Yes. And you're the first American actually pronouncing my name correct.
It's taken me years of practice. Oh, perfect. Well, Jonathan, seriously, thank you for coming on the show. And I wanted to try to get this together to help you promote your upcoming class, but you've just about filled it up yourself. So I guess you don't need me. Um, but in our messages, you were like, "Well, we can still do a podcast," which I think is fantastic. Um, I want to get a little bit of your backstory because everybody, you know, knows that, well, maybe not everybody. All of us old school guys know that you were pretty pivotal or important in helping Keco or helping large loophole repair come to fruition. And you have grown. Now everybody knows you for sure as the JVF Tools guy, right? With retention. So I want to get a little bit of your story. So how about a quick background on how did you end up in this goofy trade we call paintless dent repair?
Um, actually, it was gradually, and luckily for me maybe or us here, because the European or Belgian body repair stuff is different than what happens in the US. I am actually because my father wanted me to go to work really early. Uh, got into collision repair in when I was 16 years old, actually. Part-time school, part-time collision work.
Oh
And then
wow.
I got into collision when I was 16, and that was beginning 90s, 93, 94.
Okay.
And then I started doing all kinds of stuff with a guy named Henk Verkammen, actually, in a city called Mechelen, close to where I lived. And the guy was specialized in big smashes, select work, hydraulic works. So I learned the big stuff from that guy, the big moves and
So big heavy collision hits.
big heavy collision hits. We even sometimes cut cars in half on the molds for the Silhouette, welded it all together and painted the whole car and put it back together. So the whole 9 yards of collision up to a few years painting as well. But then I changed. I also did because of there was better money in that at that time doing like AAA work, electronics on cars, mechanics on cars, like in Brussels, fixing cars
Okay.
that had breakdowns on the road, and kept doing collision as a second job. And then I saw a really old guy, and that was more than 20 years ago, doing PDR work, but with his own made tools. He was in the old Peugeot factory that he worked in Belgium and developed his own PDR tools like 35, 40 years ago. And he had these type of rods that he shaped himself and some blending hammers and uh, all these basic, simple rods just to reach the stuff to push out and to blend out. And there was this hail car coming through, and someone said to me, "There is this guy over there. He fixes that without painting." And I cannot stand that there is something in my trade that I don't understand or not can do.
Sure.
So I called him first, but he did a lot of work on the side, and he said, "I don't know what you mean. I don't." I said, "Look, I'm this guy. I'm from there. I just want to see you work. I want to pay you to be able to look at you while you're working." And he said, "Look, most young guys these days don't want to work anymore. So if you're ready to pay me to just watch, I'm willing to show you some stuff."
Well,
So,
that's pretty cool.
so I went over to him, and he was the first guy showing me how to push out dents like 100% to get it out in PDR quality. So I started doing that, buying some stuff. Beginning years of we have a WPT brand here, so I bought a set from them in Holland, and then later on, actually because of beginning of YouTube and then Doording.com and all of that Facebook beginning years, got into more tools, American tools, German tools, and I started just using that. And because I worked with collision guys and in collision shops as an independent worker, I sold my hours to them to do
Right.
all kinds of work. Uh, I, I I had all the time in the world to um, uh, train myself in the trade. So no matter what the size of the dent was, I was able to try whatever I wanted because if it didn't work out, they were going to paint it anyway. So it's a great place to be to just try and do whatever you want to do and see would this work? What is my luck here? Can I stretch it that way? Can I go this far? Temperature wise, heating up, shrinking, you name it. You could just try anything you wanted, big dent wise, to see what will work in PDR. So that's how I roll into it, and now I'm doing PDR since the beginning 2000s.
That's awesome. I bet you screwed up a lot of cars when you were trying stuff, right?
Of course, it for sure doing
So
that big dent stuff.
that's one of the things that I always try to tell my students or new guys just looking for advice. It's a quote that I heard that's one of my favorite things, and it's the master has failed more times than the apprentice has tried. And that's exactly it. Your body shop, you get to try it. My body shop that I got to try was car lots. I would go out and I could fix some door dings, but I learned to do the big stuff when I'd have all the work done and it was early. And I'm like, well, I'll go back and work on that caved in bedside and see if I can figure it out. And I didn't get paid on a lot of jobs, but I learned on every single one. That's a cool testament to what it takes to become a serious technician. So early 2000s, you start to transition from body repair into PDR. Let's take a little fast forward step because I know it wasn't the early 2000s because it wasn't around yet. How or what, how did you end up getting into, like, let's call it GPR or large damage glue pull repair? I understand, like, you had that background. What did you see? Give me what's the story on how did Jonathan become one of the key people in helping to bring collision glue pulling to the world?
Well, I worked with a guy that did mobile homes. Those the movable mobile homes. I don't know how you
Yep.
call them.
Yeah, trailer mobile. We call them mobile homes here too.
Yeah. So, and he asked me to repair some of those bigger things, but he didn't want to repaint them because the special paint they had on it and the stripings and everything else. And he didn't want to take them apart because the building of the furniture and the everything else, and
Yep.
because of all the electricity and all that kind of stuff, he did not want to temper just on the outside. So I went looking for some stuff, and the first thing I got into on a show was that very first Worth kit with the
Okay.
slide hammer, with those tabs, the glue in there, and that kind of stuff. And then I bought one of those kits in a little case.
I think most old school PDR guys in America have that case somewhere. I think I still have one in the basement. And I
Still
definitely
have
still
that
have the
slide
slide
hammer.
hammer in my box.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, but that was I think 2005 or six that I bought that first kit from Worth. Because it was 2004 even or five because I was working with that guy then and but of course these worth sales guys they know zero about what they are selling. So you got the kit and I knew a few guys that said don't buy it, Jonathan, it's crap, doesn't work, the glue doesn't stick and the this and the that and the blah blah blah, the whole nine yards.
Oh yeah.
So I tried because I wouldn't take no for an answer. I said, if the Germans designed this, it has to work.
Right.
They don't fool around. They build stuff that works. So I started playing with temperatures, with cleaners, with polishing, and I found a way to make that glue kit work like a charm. I could do amazing stuff, only glue pulling, staying on the outside because I had no other option on those special mobile homes. I had no other choice than to perfect this glue pulling stuff, but there was stuff missing. And my wife at that time, Katya, she worked for United Airlines. So I could fly standby to wherever I wanted for $50
Oh, nice.
or just the tax. And I saw Mike Toledo at that time on YouTube coming up like, hey, MTE, guys, come along and this and blah, blah, blah. Actually, Mike Toledo presented MTE to Europe over his YouTube channel.
Oh, cool.
And I said, like, well, let's just fly there. $50 to over there. I took Katya around to Florida and I visited that show. It was 2012 or 13. And I saw there this company, a lot of companies. For me, it was like arriving at Disney World, like that doesn't exist in Europe. Only
Right.
VR tools and stuff. So my suitcase was filled up going back. But the most important thing in my case was I saw this company there, Keco, and Tim and Chris were there, and Tim Fisher at the time, and then
Yep. I remember
Michael,
Tim.
the owner, and they had a bunch of hail stuff and the little robo and that kind of stuff. But there was this engineer there that designed a long tab, a very flexible centipede. And I said, "What the hell is this?" And he said, "Yeah, it's a tab. You can cut it up, and it's always been Chris's dream to develop a tab that you can cut up to whatever size you want, and then use it exact on that type of sort of dent.
Yep.
He probably will do it in the future to make something that you can cut to what you need." But I said, well, I want to buy a few. Let's try it. But I saw instantly, like I asked him at that time on Tim, where are your tools here to use this big tab? And he said, like a robo. And
Wow.
I went like, a robo, really? I bought a robo to do the hail stuff. But of course, in my mind, this big of a tab and then the robo with the tab in the dent, yeah, that sounded crazy to me. So, but even at a stand, the wheels were turning like if I make an adapter and I make a lifter and I make a bridge that can hold these things, that might be amazing if I can make it stick to that force. So I
Right.
got home, started building some prototypes. And all of a sudden, instead of pushing 1,000 times on a big dent and going all the time back in, back in, back in, out, in, out, in, out, fatiguing the metal, now I could use a big tab, put a clamp on it, use a hydraulic puller, use a bridge and a lifter, and bring that thing out like 80% in like a quarter of an hour.
Yes.
And I went like, oh, this is amazing. What? And then my word, boom, boom, slide hammer with it. It was even so bad that I put some videos on that I got hate mail. You liar! That is impossible. I got hate mail for showing people hot glue is pulling out this dent.
I believe it.
That was a little bit after because I saw this and I went like, of course I destroyed some tabs with the hydraulics.
Sure.
And I called Keco and I said, look, are you coming to Iastre in Germany? They said, yeah. I said, well, can you bring 30 of those tabs? And then Fisher said to me, yeah, I'll bring them, I'll wrap them up. If you anything else you want? Yeah, your experimental glues, whatever you have, different glues, a package of everything, because I want to try them all to see how they behave in our temperatures over here.
Right.
So they came to Europe, and Chris must have told Tim. I don't know that story, but I think he said if that guy is picking up these 30 centipedes, you send him to me. I want to see him. I want to know why he wants these centipedes.
Right.
So Chris said, "You need to be there for those centipedes." So I went to Chris. Said, "Yeah." He said, "First, you did a good deal here because I brought them in and I paid a tax on it and blah blah." I said, yeah, okay. But he was happy, of course, too. But he wanted to know, why do you want them? Because we are thinking on stopping to sell these. Because I said, yeah, but I see what the problem is. He said, yeah, what is the problem? I said, you have these type of tabs and you have these type of tools. There is PDR here and there is collision, but in the middle, there is this road, open road of glue pull repair. You can come from here to here and from there to here, but you need tools. You have no tools. And I said, I'm doing this, and I showed him before and after with this tab. He said, I don't believe that. That is impossible. And then I showed him some video, and he was like, hmm.
Huh.
Can we have a conversation? Yes. So he came to Brussels the after the show. I came to Brussels because 10 minutes from my house at that time, and the rest is history.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So speaking of those and the videos, I've got a video that was it's one of your videos that was like a light bulb moment for me as a PDR guy. And I had, pushed smashes, like you said, pushing 1,000 times. And I saw this video. Let me see, we've got it pulled up here somewhere. I think this is it. And we're gonna let this play. So this is one of those videos, and you likely let me move this out of here. Let's close this. You likely got hate mail from this thing. So this is, I don't know if we have sound. No, no sound. So we can narrate over this. So this video showed up on my Facebook feed. And if you missed the title in the beginning, it's like horse, you know, kicks or hip check. I say the horse hip checked the quarter panel on this van. And this is before these vans were real relevant here. And I'm
Yeah.
like, man, this thing was pushed in. And here in a second, you're going to watch what I imagine has to be a pretty early ice centipede. You're going to set it up and you walk this thing out like literally in a matter of minutes. Do you remember this repair?
Oh, yes, I remember it. Yeah. Like you said, the side kicked it, and the same thing on the inside, double metal.
Right,
Uh, And the guy, the only option that he had was to grind it all off and start spot welding
right.
or to put a new panel on it. So this is a Salette hydraulic system, like you
Yep.
can see, but he had no tower, so I had to put a tube in there to be able to be high enough.
Oh, okay. Yep.
This was like you said, one of the first ice centipedes that are glued just above the body line. And
Yep.
that thing that came out like it I had to stop because I would overpull it through
Yes.
with hot glue. The body shop themselves could not believe that I fixed that in 3, 4 hours. And the top side they did not paint, and the bottom because the paint was cracked. They
Yeah.
re but only glue pull fixed that whole thing, and that was we checked it earlier. What do you say? 8 years ago this year?
Yeah, this is from, so this would be 17,
Yeah,
2017. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, man, so I saw this and this would I we got our shop in early 18. So, I was getting ready to move into a shop and I saw this and this sold me. I bought my first K bar and some centipede tabs and I bought the foot that goes into the K bar so I could I have a leverage tool and a beam. Um, this also was so impressive that I start talking to my body shops about. I'm like, man, you guys got to see what this glue pull stuff is doing. My friend Jonathan is making these pulls, and I couldn't tell you how many times I've shared this video. Pulled it up on my phone, and I'm like, watch this, and that's unbelievable. He looked a lot younger in that picture.
Yeah, yeah, I do. 8 years and a beard makes a lot of difference.
It
You
sure
know.
does. It sure does. Um, but that video, I'm telling you, I can't tell you. I think every body shop that I was going into and servicing back in that, 17, 18, 19 era, they saw that video. That sold me on big glue pull repair. That sold, I'm certain, a lot of body shops on big glue pull repair. Crazy. And really, like that video helped lead me down the path to my time at Keco, right? Which overlapped some of your time at Keco.
Yeah.
So you get to meet Chris, you're buying some of these tabs, you're starting to do these pulls and you start designing or helping to design some of the tools and the tabs that we still use today, right? If I go down and look at my Kiko rack on the wall, right? Those are the same tools that you were using back in the day.
Yeah, correct.
How fun was that to get to play around and design tools and
Well, it was and still is an exciting time to design tools because to my field, when I came into collision, I saw grandfather tools standing on little carts, dollies, slappers, you name it, on those carts. And the newest thing was spotters, eh? Spot welding
spot
machines.
welder? Yep.
That's it. And for the collision, actually almost nothing new came out for years, or it was connected to the same old school stuff. But now, because of this global technology, there was this amazing stuff to do. And because of my capability on testing all kinds of stuff, I worked really close with Chris and for that same matter, Jerry as well. That was the designer over there, engineer, also BJ. It was amazing because I had ideas, build a prototype if it was for a tool. But then tabs, we had ideas, bounced off each other, and then just started trying stuff and see what would work and what did not work. Because, of course, Gene, uh, people sometimes think that, look at the tool set that's designed, that tool after tool after tool was just designed and hang on the cart and hey, here is our tool set. That's not
No,
how it works.
so much
Uh,
different than that.
Exactly. And you need to design a lot, you need to make a lot of stuff. I still have a bunch of prototypes laying around. And my personal goal is if you make a tool, a new tool for something specific, you need to use your prototype and it needs to become your go-to tool for that type of repair. If it doesn't, and you grab the old tool again, don't even bother bringing it out. But if your new tool, your new prototype is so much better than the stuff that exists for it, well, then please bother and make it because uh, while you're working with it, you perfect the tool to what you think is a great tool or great for that type of repair. Because we
Right.
know we need a bunch of tools because there is not no such thing as a one tool does it all. It doesn't exist.
No, no.
For specific problems, you can design specific tools. And for me, it needs to become my go-to tool, or I don't even bother anymore.
Well, I remember you telling me the story. This was before my Keco time. It was when the 7 millimeter dead center crease tab came out for pulling, pulling body lines, pulling tight creases. Do I remember the story right that you were working on somebody's Cadillac
Correct.
in Oklahoma City and you had a problem, and they took a bigger tab and went to like a table saw or a
I tell you the
lathe or
story.
something to cut it down? Is that right?
I was there with Keith. Keith was also a rep for some time. Uh,
Manker.
Keith Manker, a great
Yep.
guy, funny guy to work with, but a Hale technician that needs to go for speed and also nervous, but a
Yep.
good guy. He was
Yep.
there too, and Jerry was there, and we needed a car to do some because we were at that time making movies for the website. Kenny
Yep.
was in there doing great e-commerce stuff, but he wanted more videos, videos, videos.
Sure.
So we were looking for a repair to shoot some stuff on, and Jerry said, "Well, my wife ran into the waste bin, and the waste bin turned between the wall and the car and left a line imprint through my Cadillac in the back. So it began on the dog leg, turned through the wheel well into
Yep.
the quarter panel, but an expensive car." And we all said let's do glue pulling on it, but creases and glue pulling was not done yet at that time. Glue pulling, of course, and then knocking down, pulling, knocking, pulling, knocking, pulling, knocking like 1,000 times to hopefully get the thing far
Yep.
enough out that you start glue pulling and you push with a tool to finish up a crease. And I was pulling and pulling and nothing happened, and all of a sudden Keith grabs a drill and wants to drill the Cadillac. Had enough of this. I'm drilling it and building it. And I said, "You stay away from here with your drill. This is Jerry's car and it does." And I said, "You have a grinder here?" He said, "Yeah, I have a grinder." I said, "Well, because if you see the philosophy we have, and that is the tab needs to be smaller and in the dent to make the metal move, and not glue the crowns and the deepest part together. And that's exactly what happens with a tab that's too big. You
Yep.
glue it over, the glue runs in everything, and then locks the whole thing in. You pull it up. All you do is pull up a high volcano, and the crease is still there.
Yep.
Said, I want to try something. So he gives me a grinder, and we had at that time in the tool set all Keith Cosentino stabs. So,
Okay.
so I grind it down to 7 millimeter, 6 or 7 millimeter. One of those stabs from Keith that was 12 millimeter or so.
Yep.
I put glue on it, glued it in the crease, took a robo, and went like boom. I could not believe what I saw. I said, "What is this?" And Jerry came and looked at it, and everybody like looked at it. Chris looked at it. I said, "Wait, guys, I want to see what happens further." So glued it again, and the whole crease inside out.
Just
So it was
blocked it out.
not a coincidence anymore. But otherwise, I would have never, not being in that testing situation, would have never ever tried to think like, hey, let's make a really thin tab, but really long. It's going to be really strong for creases. That would have been absurd in the logical thinking because probably wouldn't be strong enough to pull that inside out. Unbelievable. So
That
that's
listen, that
that's when those crease tabs started.
those crease tabs sold a lot of glue pull systems because
Uh,
you get somebody in front of you and you glue this little 7 millimeter wide tab onto a panel, and then we'd set the crease killer, the double robo up, and we get
uh,
these big muscle heads and they're like, "Ugh," and they can't get it to go, and you pull it off and it's got a body line. Unbelievable. That
well, short after we came out with the crease killer, double robo, the feet, and then
Yep.
the longer centipede crease tab, you
Yep.
literally rip body lines into metal. It is
Yeah.
unbelievable. You rip off paint of paint that you would never rip off with a tab in another situation with
Because you're
those
pulling so
creasing.
hard.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. We had a door. I don't think you were there. It was SEMA right sort of when you were exiting and I was in, and we had a Ford door, and on that door we demoed the crease killer. At the end, remember the old Ford Flexes? They had it was a reverse body line down the door. They had a few.
I don't know any Ford flexes, but anyway.
Anyways, the F-150 door looked like a different door when we were done because we had so many separate body lines pulled into it. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It even helps a lot on if you get some flimsy or oil canning metal, uh, put that tab on a body line, boom, lift it like a millimeter. It's
Yep.
gonna boom, put tension on that panel again, and nobody notices anything. But you have strength again in the panel.
I just gave a guy that tip today. He was working on a roof with a stretch dent from an antenna, and I'm like, "Hey, get the 7 millimeter tab, put it on the line, pull it up." I said, "You can even hide some of that stretch," and he was like, "That's my next move."
Uh,
So good stuff. That that sounds like. I mean, I really loved my time at Keco. It sounds like you had even more fun than me at Keco because you got to play and test and design. Let's fast forward a little bit because we could probably talk for hours on this whole story. Now you're JVF, right? You're JVF Tools. What, I guess, what led you to bringing your own tools out, and what all do you have to offer there? So let's get your story, and then we can pull your website up and look at some of the stuff.
yeah. Well, I still do some stuff with Keco and with other people too. But I've always been JVF. I was always a freelancer. I was never an employee of Keco.
Okay.
So it became more clear when I started doing the own brand. And actually, I kept the name they glued on me at Keco. I think it was Tim Fisher starting to do that. When I made the first GVF 360 tip, it was the
Yep.
GVF tip or the GVF hammer or the. So the GVF people already know Jonathan Vandenfontyne, but for sure for Americans, Jonathan
JVF.
Vandenfontyne is very difficult to pronounce, so it became JVF. And I kept JVF, and it became JVF Tools. But I had some ideas on lateral tension, and I noticed that good friend of mine, Barry McIntosh, also, and there were some in those years. If you're a body or collision guy, lateral tension is not new because you've been doing lateral tension for years with hydraulics, with clamps, with everything. If we did doors that were turned inside out against the pole or whatever, two clamps on the edges of the doors, you pull and come back
Moves right up.
and you fix a door. But the new thing was glue. Lateral tension, really strong, no damage. So, and I'm gonna say it as it is. I was not a fan of all those rods pushing out tabs. I was not really a fan of it because they were blocking the repair, in my opinion. So, a bunch of people went that direction with the rods because they liked the idea and they loved doing that. It's
And it
okay.
was a simple design, really.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
and but I did not like it. I'm honest. I didn't like that idea. The Yeah. So what I wanted to do, and also Barry's idea as well, is we came together and we had actually practically 100% the same idea. Uh, and that's why I started working with him. He's also a tool designer, Barry. He has also out of the box ideas, and I like people thinking out of the box. Uh, and we came up with this idea, but not only Barry and me, Jerry Leopold, who is an engineer that I worked with at Keco years ago, and he's also outside. He works in another company. But
Okay.
we put our minds together and we did this. And
The retention.
a retention system, exactly. So I have some early prototypes that I worked with that are fixed tools and not as strong as this one is. But Gene, honestly, the pulling that I was doing with it, not only for PDR, but also for collision guys, and I put my gauge on it, and the testing of the strength of the tool and everything else, the numbers were gigantic. So I did not want to risk a smaller extrusion or a lighter tool because of the power of this tool. It's amazing what you can repair if you talk bedsides, roofs, strong doors, aluminium doors, you name it. So we started experimenting with it, and this is actually the production tool is the fifth one that we made
Okay.
after, after all the testing. Because like I said before, the same was for this. And then the different extrusions that you can interchange is allowing technicians with one tool to make a smaller one and a bigger one. And we even have 2 meter extrusions now for roofs or the big Mercedes doors,
Oh,
Mercedes.
wow. So you have even, I didn't know you had a longer extrusion.
Yes, we do. For all the vans over here, the Germans kept insisting, Jonathan, we need a longer extrusion because we wanna repair the big Sprinter vans, and because they are built in, covered up, we cannot enter. We don't want to put the foam on fire, electricity, you name it. So we want a bigger extrusion to put lateral tension over the whole thing. So and
That's
then
pretty cool.
because of in the beginning of all the other systems, the diving was a problem. We made the feed bigger, but also, like you know already, the key is pulling, is not pushing.
Right.
Pulling. Pulling. So I explained it in a few seminars at MT as well, that the problem is that people were pushing with the rods and with their tools. And if you push against tabs, you're going to make him dive in.
You're making it dive,
But
right?
if you pull them, like ask everybody using some straps, like what Keith Costantino is selling, um, straps have no problem on diving because they only pull. But you
Right.
can plastic feed the same thing. Make the setup so that the tool is pulling and not pushing or diving in. Because it's logical, you're only doing it on sheet metal. You're pushing and the whole thing dives in because you put a lot of strength on those rods or whatever you're doing it with.
Right.
So, but after the testing already more than 4 years ago, I made my first plastic straps as well to start pulling on stuff, and you could see the difference instantly. That pulling is the answer. But of course, again, collision, clamps, pulling, it's the same thinking. And
Yeah.
pu pushing, it's logical that if you stay on the sheet metal and you push, that you're gonna dive. It's a logical conclusion.
It
So
has to. Yes.
has to
Yeah.
dive in.
So the how long has the retention been out? What, probably 3 years now?
I think we released it in September 23.
Okay. So a little over 2 years.
Yes.
Yes. And it, guys, I will tell you that if you have not used this system, it is, it almost looks like the Germans engineered it because it's almost over engineered. It
My
is,
grandfather was a German. I'm guilty.
oh, there you go. See, I knew it. Um, it is seriously heavy duty. Uh, it almost, it almost looks daunting to put on a car, but it works so well. Like you can tell that you guys have put a lot of thought into it. The way it marries to the feet, the way it holds, even I don't know how much that weighs. I mean, it's a pretty significant tool. It just holds on so well and moves out of your way, up or down, so smooth. You can pull laterally with it. You can also compress with it, right? Which is a retension. You're retensioning the panel. Um, Man, it is a spectacular tool. Um, are you going to be at MTE? Is it going to be there?
Yes, yes, yes. And in
Yeah,
America, Anson has them in stock. They're on the Keco website as well. Morgan has it, where you bought your glue.
that's who I got the glue from, right?
Morgan has the glue. He has the glue guns, and he has the retention system as well. So
Nice.
I think
Um,
he's on my website page. You can find him over there as well.
Okay. Yeah, we'll find that for sure. And then I saw that you've come out with a new mini
yes,
retention system.
yes.
Same design, just a little lighter duty, a little bit more maneuverable, flexible, easy to use.
It's a smaller system because the feet are actually a big difference with. I got some first tools hanging here. 1 second. I'll show you.
So it looks like I think I have the more narrow feet for the standard system. Is it
This
the
is the big
same?
one. You see
Yep.
the foot, what the difference is? It's quite
Oh,
a
okay. Yep.
significant difference in two. Why
Yes.
did we do it? Well, actually, uh, we had PDR techs asking us if we could do a lighter version for only PDR use and make
Okay.
it into a kit. So the body line bodies are in there, the smaller feet are in there. There are two
Nice.
traction tabs and some collision tabs in there to out of the box be ready to start using as a PDR tech. And it's the 60 centimeter, the small extrusion that's also in the big kit.
Oh,
But
okay.
but important, extrusions are the same. So if you have one kit, you can use it, the feet, the extrusions with the other kit. They're
Oh, okay.
interchangeable.
It's
The only difference is in the size of the feet that's made lighter, but the features are all the same.
Oh, nice. And another thing that I think may go unnoticed is, and this is on both tools, the, and I don't know if you can see my pointer
Yeah,
on.
the lock-on
You can
lift.
also use this tool as a beam,
Yeah.
right? So you can use it with tension independently, as a beam independently, or with tension and an outward pull. Uh,
That's why we call it actually retention. I think it is Barry that was the first one uh, coming up with that retention name because you have the lateral tension and then at the same time the pull up. Because like we all know, it's not always possible to only with lateral tension to bring up
right.
metal. And the best way forward is first to combine it with cold glue, with a slide hammer, put tension on it, use cold glue. But
Get that metal moving.
exactly. But sometimes the cold glue ain't strong enough because it's a bad kink or a strong kick in that lateral tension is necessary. But then
Right.
lateral tension with that lock-on lifter, then you're actually doing this. You're pushing out the dent and at the same time pulling up. So you're doing retensioning is the combination of those two.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it is, guys, if you haven't moved metal in multiple directions at the same time, it's like magic. It's, I call it like, it's almost like the third dimension of repair because we've always just gone up or down, and then now we can go out. And then when you combine outward and outward, it's magical. Like just these huge smashes unfold. Uh, there's still haters. That Bryce just shared that BMW repair he did, and
Unbelievable.
the hate was like, "That's not real. You can't do this." Like he's like, "Well, here it is. Yeah, check it out. It's crazy."
But
Um,
that is one of the reasons, sorry to interrupt you, but that is
no,
one
you're
of the
good.
reasons that, like for these master classes, good technicians are so interested in seeing what some of them guys doing this, like Guedes Arilson, the Brazilian that's coming. I had the pleasure to be at a training and to demo lateral tension techniques in Italy at Danilo's training, and
Yeah,
Guedes was there last year. And the finishing and the approach of that guy like Bryce is unbelievable, and it helps you forward in ways that, like Jean as well, Vidic, it's
yep,
them guys go fast and have good technique, but it's all the same thing. It is creating a metal flow that goes in one flow to the end of the repair. That is
yep.
actually a very important thing. And some of us might be doing it without knowing the science behind it. Like that's why actually also Mike O'Grady developed this tool, the constant tension
The
tool.
constant tension. Yep,
And the constant tension is the answer to make sure your metal does not kick or kink or that those molecules start not fighting each other and you. Because
right.
one of the biggest dangers in repair is 1,000 times in and out.
Yep,
And you are doing like with the Coke can, non-stop. And what happens to that can?
gets
Rubbish,
weak.
throw it away.
Yep,
Metal the same. So the better your flow to repair is in one motion and keep the motion going, the better your repair will be, the less chance on oil canning. Because it's the fallback every time that creates more problems.
right. And if you think about it, that's how damage happens is one fast, generally fast, but one fast flow in. So if you can reverse that and flow that right back out,
Yeah,
you know, you get a little bit of magic.
yeah.
So the retention is not your only tool. In fact, you've got, I think every time I look at the website, you've got some new stuff coming up here. So let's get this. There we go. Let's talk about some of the things you got going on here. First, actually, this first product, and you just mentioned it. Um, and I know you only have a few seats left,
Yeah,
but you've got a class coming up. Let's take a minute and talk about this.
yes. So you see the teachers, it's Guedes Arelson, it's a Brazilian wizard. The guy has, like Bryce, unbelievable quality repairs and unbelievable smashes.
Hmm.
So it's going to be a privilege for the guys coming to see him at work. And it's also, just like Bryce, a humble man to be with. He laughs. It's a joker, but while he's joking, he fixes stuff in front of your eyes. That's unbelievable. So it's
He's
for
crazy.
him, it's just a daily habit of fixing unbelievable stuff. Then Martin Sadler from England, the YouTuber, also a great humble guy. You've seen his repairs, and Martin as well. He has his own approach. He designs the repair before he starts working on it, explains how and what he's doing and what the tools are.
I
And when
love his
especially
approach.
yeah, and especially in this class, we've asked every trainer in their specialty to also bring their own tools and to make sure they explain exactly what they are doing in their situation. Because different approaches help us learn from each other, and for sure the students that have not the habit of these things. Then Barry, uh, most of you guys know him for years from Doording.com, Facebook. He's been in
Yep.
other trainings, and of course it's Mr. Duda, and also retention, and we're doing stuff together. The man has more qualities than PDR only. He thinks out of the box, completely out of the box. The guy, go sit with him, have a pint with him. He'll take you to space and back of dent repair.
Oh,
So,
I've had those conversations with him. I enjoy them. But you can't let him get too excited because he gets really hard to understand. So you
well,
gotta
he's
slow him
Irish,
down, but he's a
Irish.
wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, 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 he is. And yeah, he's bringing, of course, his knowledge, and he knows also. He's one of them guys that are capable of making a fender out of a sheet metal on an English wheel and all other kinds of
Oh,
techniques.
wow.
He came out of car building, collision, and PDR. So combined, there is a wealth of knowledge there to have in these trainings. Although he thinks, what am I doing between these guys? Well, Barry, you got your spot there and you deserved it. So
Right.
it's gonna be
That's
nice.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, Jean Vidic, we all know Jean from the shows, from the games and the competitions he won. And of course, his speed, hail repair, the techniques he brings, I don't need to tell you, you've been into
Oh,
it.
yeah, he's unreal. He
Yeah.
really is. I think he's my number one guest on here. I think he's made the most appearances
Okay.
on the show. So yeah, we're all very familiar with John. He's like it's just another one of those guys that's 1% of the 1%.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we were really glad to have those guys and to combine it. Um, we saw, of course, what was happening in the States with these high master classes like PDR College and other stuff.
Yep.
And the demand was on in Europe already for a few years. When is this going to happen in Europe? And nobody is moving on it. So for sure, after coming back for the last one, I was talking to Barry before the PBR college already last year about doing stuff like this, getting Geddes over here. I already requested Geddes last year. Would you come
Right.
to Brussels? We'll set something up professionally in a professional location. And he said, yeah, just send me the invite. So we've cut the rope and gone for it. And Jean was happy to come. Martin was happy to come. So I think it's going to be a great event, and if it works out, it's going to happen again.
Well, next year, consult me on the dates so you don't put it on my wife's birthday so I can make the trip over because I would have loved to have gone to this class. So you said no, this isn't a sales pitch. Like the class is on and it's almost full, but
Yeah,
there are a couple of seats left. So head over to the jvftools.com, go to the products page, and get this thing. And for 2,000 bucks, 2,000 euros,
yeah,
that's a steal. Like to hang out with, it's 3 days, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. To hang out with this crew for 3 days is worth way more than that. So all the luck. I can't wait to see the videos and all the content that comes out from there.
Well, I
So,
know a professional videographer in the old city that I lived, contacted him, and he's coming the 3 days and doing all the video work. So
oh, cool.
we'll have like you were doing at PDR College,
Yeah,
video and the camera on the repairs on the screens. We'll have all the footage after the 3 days to combine it in a nice video to show people what the class is actually bringing.
nice. That's awesome. Well,
Yeah,
best of luck, and I'm glad it's almost sold out. Let's sort of breeze through these kind of quick. I've got this orange mini lifter adapter for my Robo.
yeah,
Um, I saw it. You actually gave it to me at PDR College, at Advanced Skills,
yeah.
and forever. And it bothers me. Like most slide hammers and lifters, they've got those sharp edges. Like it's not friendly to my sensitive, dainty little fingers. And I'm like, hey, what's this? And this is like an upgraded adapter for it. So I see you've got round, you've got the uh, crease head, and then is this like T-slot adapter for
Yeah,
the other tabs.
yeah,
Uh, it's one of those simple changes that makes a big difference in my everyday.
yeah. And we did it for, it works, of course, with all the Keco stuff.
Yep.
'Cause you just turn it on the Robo or on the Worth lifter or everything with the 6 millimeter, it works on. But uh, my main goal was not to have something blocking it, taking a long adapter, but also you saw our tabs. We have these tension head tabs,
Yes.
and
Yep. So these are right here.
yeah, you grab them, and of course they squeeze to the side of the adapter, like you can see, and then you can wiggle whatever you want. You pull off a tab, and it stays in the adapter. And
Right. It's not flying all over the place.
yeah, exactly. It does not fly away. It just grabs the tab and stays in there. But the sharper adapters, they were scratching those tabs and
Oh,
they were
okay.
cutting the plastic off. So I said, well, because I was like you, uh, I've been bleeding many times just by
Yes.
pulling a tab off and the
Yep.
tab cutting into your finger. So I thought, well, let's try an easy. It's also a slightly bigger diameter to make sure we
Yep.
can do the cutouts and everything. But since I've been using this, it's a great change to a great lifter already. Like the Robo is still my go-to little lifter for all kinds of tabs.
Well, I love my Robo. So now I've got your tab adapter for it, and I've got Keith's the aluminum legs that
Yeah,
give you adjustment there. It's like we're doing aftermarket work to the Robo lifter and making it even we're making it our own and making it cooler. Um, Coming down here, your collision glue pellets.
yeah,
Uh, I picked that up. I got that off of your buddy over here that sells for you.
yeah,
Because it was going to cost more to ship than the glue cost.
yeah.
But this stuff is fantastic and it fits with this
Yes,
big dog right here.
yes.
This glue gun, man. You ruined me.
You bought
I
it.
did. I did. You ruined me. It works so well. This gun holds about 6 sticks of glue
Yeah,
and melts it completely. Um, and then, but you know, I had to cut the sticks up, and then I saw you came out with the pellets
yeah,
and picked up my whatever that is, a gallon or however many liters or whatever, however you sell that.
yeah.
Um, Man, that gun has changed my big glue pulling life.
Well, Gene, I bumped into a major problem in my eyes. I thought when we were doing retention, this is the answer. And I wanted the bigger real estate for the feet and stuff. But when I started testing, I said, oh my, what is this? I had to have 3 guns ready to fill up the feet
Yep.
with glue. And then the second feet was a bigger problem. And I've been talking about these guns for some years with people I worked with, different people I worked with. And the holdback was always, are technicians going to willing to buy this gun, to pay this amount of money for it? This is a German quality gun. It's built in Germany. And the normal range of guns is around 2 or 3 grand for a gun because they are factory guns. They are
Right.
specially designed to use all day long in big factories, OEM factories. So they accept sticks, like you say, cut them up. They accept the 43 millimeter sticks, the big ones, and they accept the pallets.
Right.
So, and because bumping into that problem of the big feet, I said, well, it's time to do it because I'm gonna do this, offer it to people in collision. It's gonna, of course, bring me back in the same alley again, getting some hate because of the price of the glue and then you name it. But actually, every time I'm at the show, guys just buy it and just walk away with it. And I said, what do you think of the price? They said, hey, Jonathan, 620 euros. My iPhone is 15 or 1600 euros. And
Right.
this one makes me money from the first minute I use it until I switch it off. So
Yep.
if you use this gun one time, I've used it on a show put a tab on glue, and I had to go back home, put three guns on. Not anymore. So that's why I
Yep.
bought it instantly. He said, when you use this kind of volume, you don't go back.
I could not agree more. Like, because I was to the point where getting into some of my huge repairs, I was having 4 and 5 guns
Oh,
loaded
oh,
up. And then I found a good uh, 250-watt plug-in gun from Anson that's a tech gun. And I
yeah,
could run a couple of those. But this, we were using it today. My guy was down there. I can't move the camera, but we
yeah.
got a Mustang in there now, and he had big tabs and pulling tension and another big edge tab and pulling out. And you run out of glue. Not with this. We had our Dents for Kids last weekend, and Anson Van was here in Biggs, and I pulled this gun out and I let it sit over there, and I think they just about used the whole cartridge of glue playing around with it just to see how much it would put out. The thing is
Yeah,
awesome,
yeah.
really awesome.
We even, the company that I'm working with had a second one, an even more professional one, the black ones. And those are with the cartridges that you can fill up at home, preheat, and then just bring in and interchange the glue if you would want to. And that's a
Oh
gun.
wow.
That's a gun. That's the black one also online. It's a gun with the heater system on it and a compressor hose. So there is,
Oh, okay.
so you're plugging it into the, that's the one, yeah.
Yep.
You're plugging it into the compressor and you're plugging it in to the electrical system. So this thing you just push and
It just
just
shoots it out.
it just shoots out whatever you want.
But you have to have a compressor, right?
Yes, yes. And it's not possible in a manual way, these cartridges, because as you see, it needs pressure from the back
Yep.
pushing it in. And it has to stay clean because it's like 400 Fahrenheit. So they used air to squeeze out
That
the
makes
glue,
sense.
and it works like a charm. But
That's really cool.
for now, it's only Germans buying this.
Well, it'll come, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
awesome.
you have to start somewhere. And I know by now, since the last 15 years doing stuff with Keco and others, if you want to break something open and want to bring something new into what we do, well, then it takes a bit of time before people accept it. But it is truly so. If you start using it when you're doing big repairs, it's just a necessity to have.
Yes. I couldn't agree more. I have to have it. I need it. Yes. Yeah. Well, I don't have to have it, but I really, really, really want to have it. How about that?
You don't have to have it, but then use your three or four guns. Eh? It's
Yeah.
cool. Do
It's
whatever you
night and
want.
day. It
Yeah.
it it's unbelievable. And especially for the big feet, the big straps. It's
Yeah.
just a no-brainer
For
in
me,
my
it was the
world.
missing link. I was because even for me, even more, I was not only doing repairs, but testing prototypes of retention systems. So I wanted to test those feet in all kind of different situations, quarters, this, that. Barry also in Ireland. Can you imagine regluing those feet like 10 times in a row with
No.
those old guns?
No.
It started aggravating me, really.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yeah. Well, your whole entire tool lineup, not that I would expect anything else from you, is world-class, top-notch stuff.
thank
It's
you.
you've
We are
really
trying hard.
well, I can tell, and you see it, and keep doing what you're doing because it's you're making our life as technicians better with these better tools.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
that is awesome. Before I let you go, because I've already taken you longer than I said I would take you.
Cool.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Any parting advice, anything like that? It was a pretty interesting show. I enjoyed it.
Me
I don't care if
too.
anybody else does or not. I liked this one.
Uh, Not really, no. It's still exciting stuff to come because this is the really nice thing in what we do. The only thing what bothers me a little bit in the whole industry, just a little bit, is that I see a lot of technicians with good ideas, and I've been approached by guys with really good ideas. And because of all the copying going on, we
Mm.
are obliged, we have to take patents, expensive patents, to protect our tools, and even then, the claims in the patents are copied. So I don't even know how it's possible, but where is the morality gone? Where is the even we need to advise guys to, if people approach me for a tool, I first say, please don't talk about it to me. Don't. Did you take a patent to protect yourself? No. First do it. If
Right.
your tool is a go-to tool right now and you're sure that's really good, protect it with a basic patent that will protect you already for a year, and then you can go further and do it worldwide, PCT it, whatever you want to do. But protect yourself, and it works. So how does it work? Temu started copying our tool. Some companies copied our features from the tool. The swiveling from left to right and all those things did not exist before we came out with this tool. So,
Right.
so protect your tool, and then you can come to market and it works. To give you an idea, Temu, Alibaba, AliExpress, all those websites, Chinese companies copy pasted the tool and we got it off of there, all of it. And if
That's awesome.
they come online, we're getting it off again. And it is praise to actually Alibaba and to AliExpress, because we have to commend them for it. They have an IPA, an international platform, protection platform.
Oh,
And
good.
what happens there is you have to file and send up all your information. You need a lawyer, of course, your lawyer, your patent lawyer. And
Right.
it's possible, if you talk to them, to in simple ways confront those companies with the infringing, and they take them offline. So new guys, new with good ideas, please do not hold back, because some crazy people are instantly copying everything. Just protect it, and when the patent is granted, you'll have something in your hands that is
You'll be
proven.
good to go. Yeah.
Yes.
So along those lines, and I don't know if I've said it, I have to have said it on here. I know I've said it publicly before. Guys, it is, I understand that you can go buy a knockoff tool for literally pennies on the dollar. But what you can't do is leave people like Jonathan, like Keco, like Charlie with Cam Auto, like Craig and Anson. You can't leave these inventors high and dry. We're a small market, right? You're not going to sell a million of anything, maybe a million pellets of glue, but that's about it. Not even sticks, but pellets. If we don't support the creators and the inventors, you will stifle creation and we'll start to go backwards and we won't have new great tools. We won't have a whole new line of tools to make our work better because these knockoffs, these Alibabas and Temus and everything, they're not dent people. In fact, I laugh when I see the monocle keeps showing up on my feed. That's such a niche tool that they probably haven't even recouped their dollars in design yet, and these companies have them knocked off. Support the people that help make your life better, that design, that help drive innovation in our space. Like I cannot tell you how important that is, and we're all blessed to make incredible livings doing this. Invest in
Yes.
yourself, make your life better, and invest in these creators that are investing in us and making better tools. Like, end of rant, but that's my soapbox. I'm a firm believer in don't buy this cheap knockoff BS. You got to support the people who support us for sure. And I'm glad that you've got your patents and that you're preaching patents to further to be able to protect yourselves. So that's awesome.
Would I would not even bring out a tool anymore if it's not connected to a patent at all.
Right.
Because it's unbelievable. What is, like you said just earlier, it is copied by we know who and
Yep.
why and how before you can get your own tool to market if you show it too soon. But you know
Yep.
what? If you got patents, and they're being granted. You got an application. You don't need the granted patent yet if you have an application. Then when the patent is granted, if it's really new technology and it is granted, well,
Right.
all these copiers, they will have a big problem on their hand. And
Yes.
and I understand text, but I know for sure that there are still great new ideas out there. And guys, get a patent. The first basic patent is 2.5, 3 grand. That's it to start
Right.
with. We are 55 grand in right now because you're
Sure.
talking wide and blah, blah, blah. But to bring it out, you need an application of the patent and you're protected. Go to a tool builder if you can't do it yourself, make an arrangement or a deal, and you're
Yep.
off. But you are protected against the Alibabas and the AliExpresses because they, I'm going to say it again, they respect octroy or protected things by patents. They respect it. We are living proof that they respect it.
That's great. That's so glad. I'm so glad to hear that because those knockoffs came out hot and heavy with you. For sure. I mean, like direct knockoffs.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's
But,
terrible. It's terrible. So, Jonathan, thank you so much for coming on. I can't believe it took us this long to get together and do an episode on here. I enjoyed learning more of your story. I hadn't heard all of that before. I've heard bits and pieces. I've heard Chris's side of how that went down, and it's cool to like now I have both sides of the story and how it lined up, and I can picture it all in my head. Um, Thank you so much. I'm gonna do a little outro here, and then we'll stop the recording. So. Guys, thank you for so much for joining us and listening. This is dropping on Monday, whatever the date is, like 21, 22, maybe the 24th, or whatever Monday is around there. Um, Sporting my Dent Slayer hat. My Dent Slayer episode is supposed to drop on the same date. So if you're listening to this and you haven't listened to that yet, you got to go check it out. It was really cool to get to hang out with Matt and James at Dent Slayer HQ. I think I might be the second longest episode. I think we went for 4 hours and 2 minutes was the
oh,
final count. But I had a blast. So head on over to the Dent Slayer show and check that out. We are still getting everything dialed in for the transition from the Institute into the Institute at Dent Repair Now. If you're a student, keep an eye out. Your emails are coming. The classes are moved over. We're working on it. Go follow us on social at Dent Repair Now across the board. And that's it. So, guys, thank you so much. Jonathan, again, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. And I'll see you in just really a couple of months. We'll be at MTE before we know it. Good
thanks,
deal.
Gene. Bye.
All right. Thank you, guys.